There's several ways in which you can get property deals. One of the ways that's worked the most for me is my builders. So that could be a plumber, electrician, or whoever. Simply for the fact that they have a wider network than I do, and they do work for me, but they do work for a whole load of other people. Let all the builders that you work with know what you're looking for. So for example, if you're doing the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy, you tell them that you're looking for a property that you can add value to, a property that's run down and the owner's looking to sell as soon as possible, because they probably regularly come across those type of properties. Or if you're doing a rent-to-rent HMO, for example, if they're called out to do a job at a HMO that's not quite up to standard or needs some level of work, and the owner of the property is looking for somebody to take it on, again, you'd come to mind, but you need to let them know what you're looking for so they can also be on the lookout for you. And they'd be more than happy to do so, simply because that's more work for them, that's more income for them. One of the best deals that I've received was a 6-bedroom HMO that I took on a rent-to-rent, and I received that deal through my electrician. He gave me a call. He said he just finished doing work for a landlord who was struggling to let out his property. So he linked me up with the landlord. I first went in with the option to purchase the property, but he wasn't quite interested in selling, but he wanted somebody to take on the property long term. So I offered him a fixed amount of rent for a period of 3 to 5 years, and he was happy to do that. And that property cash flows £1,050 net profit per calendar month, and I paid £250 for that deal. So I definitely recommend, if you're using your builders to get deals, always pay them a finder's fee, because when they next see a deal at a job that they're doing, they will always remember you. If you're looking for property deals but you don't necessarily have the time or not quite yet got the skills in finding below market value deals or rent-to-rents or buy, refurbish, refinance deals, a quicker way in doing this is using a deal sourcer, deal packager, who would go out and find you a property deal that meets your investment criteria, and in return you will pay them a fee for their service, which is usually between £2,000 and £5,000 or more, depending on how good the deal is and the volume of the deal. Some also offer a full package where they would project manage the refurb for you. They would let and manage the property for you, offering you a full hands-off service. I would definitely advise to use a fully compliant deal sourcer. You can ask them to send them all their information to ensure that they are fully compliant. When using a deal sourcer, you also need to do your own due diligence, because once you've purchased the deal and either completed on the deal or signed the contract with a landlord for a rent-to-rent deal, for example, you can't now go back and say, oh, the deal doesn't stack up, it wasn't as you said. So it's important for you to carry out your own due diligence to ensure that you're happy with the deal, because you never know what could happen. The deal may be good, but because of certain circumstances, it just doesn't work out as planned. So you need to make sure you carry out your research on the area, you do your own numbers, you ensure that what they're saying is matching up with what you're finding out, and ensure you're happy with the deal before going ahead. And there are a lot of great deal sourcing companies out there, but do your own research and ensure that you're happy with the deal. The obvious ways to get property deals is through estate agents if you're purchasing a property, or a letting agent if you're leasing a property for a rent-to-rent, HMO, or serviced accommodation. If you're purchasing, you want to build a relationship with the estate agent or estate agents that you're working with. You can let them know that if they see a rundown property, they can give you a call. So if they do see one, they can probably call you before it even comes on the market, once you have that relationship, that rapport built with them. In the same way, if you're in the rent-to-rent world, for example, once they see a property that could potentially become a HMO, or a property that's been on the rental market for a while that's not being let, they can give you a call. Or a property that's already a HMO that needs some modernizing and brought up to a more modern standard, they can definitely give you a call as well. So it's just important to build that relationship with agents, so as you're working with them, they can also work with you at the same time. If you are doing the rent-to-rent strategy, you need to bear in mind that you will need to pass reference if you're going through an agent. So if you are working and you have a monthly income, that's great, as long as you can meet the requirement for that property in question. If not, you have the option to use a guarantor who will then cover the remainder of the rent or the full rent, which is the main requirement from the agent. If you're purchasing a property, of course, all you just need to show is your proof of funds, your ID, and all other identification that the agent may need, so that they can see that you're serious and ready to go and put you in front of others, hopefully. So stay tuned and follow the journey.